favorite A Hockey podcast.
Who the fuck are you?
My name is Dakota. Thank you. And I just want playoff hockey to start. That's all I want.
I think about how I'm ready for these games to be over. And then I also think about how there's not going to be a lot of games for about 4 or 5 months. So maybe I don't want these games to be over.
No,
I don't want playoff hockey to start. Fuck you.
Let me repeat your question back to you. Who the fuck are you?
Can't even hold a fucking note. You suck.
That's right. We have another switch in the cast here.
We're now just a viral YouTube video from 2011 podcast now.
You can't even hold a fucking topic. You have no respect for the words that serve as the foundation for conversation. Who the fuck are you?
Fuck, dude.
You're flat.
You're boring.
I watched Nathan McKinnon in 2017. Who the fuck are you?
Who the fuck are you?
Right, so
I watched the Avalanche in 2017. Who the fuck are you?
At this point, we have to include the entire clip at the front of the podcast for this to make sense.
Just play the entire
yeah,
8-minute
play the
long
entire
fucking
thing,
video.
it's fine.
We have to
So
make it 8-bit somehow.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
big crush the fuck out of it.
So, the voices you hear with me are Jake.
That's who the fuck I am. I bought a base. I'm drunk. What up?
Devin.
Yo, what's up?
Dylan.
Hey.
And Indy.
Yep, that's me.
See, I have an issue.
Yeah.
Dakota says fun stuff. I say fun stuff. Indy had a wacky fun time voice. Y'all need to up your goddamn game.
I was gonna say I'm tired, but I figured that's not a very fun thing to start off a podcast with.
It's also apparent. Pick up the goddamn energy.
Sorry, fuck.
You can't even hold a note.
Who the fuck are you?
This is true.
I just watched a DMVR get drunk for 100 years, and I also decided to join them.
Yeah, so since the last time we talked to you guys, 4 games have played out for the Avalanche. We're still sitting pretty firmly in that number 2 spot in the division, clinched the playoffs.
I think you mean only one game has happened since we last had a podcast. Other
No,
games.
2.
Smile.
At least 2.
Yeah, we had 2 good ones. You mean 2?
We had-
Period.
Yeah, 2.
Yeah.
2 worth watching.
Us playing in St. Louis does not exist because those games never really exist.
Define worth watching.
Like, what happened was they just sat there in St. Louis for like 2 weeks. All they had was fried ravioli. Couldn't do anything. Looking at that stupid fucking arch every day, and they were like, "Fuck this, I'm done."
I just ripped a fat burp, and I muted myself before it happened, unlike a certain somebody. And Discord was like, "You're muted, right? You didn't want everybody to hear that? Are you sure?"
Are you sure you didn't
What?
want the world to know you burped?
I'd say that's an important part of the conversation.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah. Because otherwise we just get into a tangent talking about your burp that we
Yeah.
never heard. This is
Yep.
true.
Listen, this is pure entertainment. Fuck you. And not only fuck you, who the fuck are you?
All right, so first game that we haven't covered on this podcast, the Avalanche lose 4-1 to the Blues. They look bad the whole time. Everybody's bad. Nathan McKinnon has a shit game. Grubauer, Rantanen, and Donskoy were all out because of the COVID protocols that we mentioned last week. We forget about that one. It doesn't matter. No relevance to
Didn't happen.
to the season at all. Like, just
It's a figment of your imagination.
Yeah,
Collective
fuck that
hallucination.
game. I'm not here for the fucking bad vibes. I'm here for the immaculate ones.
exactly, which is why we're skipping through it, right?
Listen, I just have to say, fuck the Blues. That's it. Fuck
Yeah.
the Blues. FTB.
That's it. That's all you need to
they're
know.
bitches.
That's all you need to know. Second game was Vegas 5-2. Team played good. Dubnyk was awful. Definitely his worst game as an Avalanche player, and the Avalanche lose because of it.
Doob, more
Well-
like poob.
I was about to say,
Got him.
also, Marc-Andre Fleury was absolutely ridiculous that game.
Yeah, he was.
Flower hates the Avs, bro.
He sure does.
Flower hates the Avs. Every time he plays us, he's just like, Dominic Hasek mixed with Patrick Roy. Oh.
Roy, damn. Hold up.
Damn.
You're going to have to show
Hold
me
up.
your Avalanche membership card.
The drunk turned up, bro. I'll show you my 12 jerseys.
Who the fuck are you?
Who the fuck are you? I skated Patrick Roy onto the ice in 1999. Who the fuck are you?
But, again, it's a situation where Grubauer, Rantanen, and Donskoy were gone. Very important pieces for the team. That game just doesn't even matter because it's not representative of what the team's going to be in the postseason.
Speaking of missing people, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on a tangent and say we totally figured it out tonight. We had 2 dog shit defensemen on the bottom pair, and it was like, hello.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, missing Sod sucks, dude. He's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the Avs kind of outplayed the Golden Knights.
Yeah, they definitely did.
Um,
From a fancy stat perspective, the odds were in the Avs' favor.
Dubnyk let in some really rough ones.
Coach
Yo.
of the Vegas Knights.
A video popped up on my Twitter, and every LA Kings player walked up and hugged Ryan Miller and gave him a handshake after the game.
Damn.
Hell yeah.
Good shit.
All right.
That's hockey related. That's podcast content.
It is.
Yeah, we'll circle around back to that when we talk about him because he is in our show notes. Ryan Miller's retirement announcement, but that's pretty awesome. Good to see sportsmanship like that out there. So the first game that's worth talking about, the Colorado Avalanche shut out the San Jose Sharks. 3-0 is the final score. The third game that
The
happened
first game
over
of
this
this
past
week.
week. Yeah, the first game.
Smile?
Yeah, that's right. Not the third. The first. Big line showed up. Big names showed up. Landeskog, Makar, and Rantanen scored the goals.
Yes. Miko returned. I was
Where
so
is this
turned.
info for me? Why do you have the secret Discord info?
It's called NHL.com.
Post it. What kind of host are you?
This fucking secret Discord deck.
So this is what I used to do while you guys
There
were
you
just
go.
talking. I would just sit it in on NHL.
No, you take a screenshot and you
give
put it
guys
in the show
info.
notes. Who the fuck are you?
Fucking Christ.
But yeah, the big boys showed up. Kale Makar was out of his mind.
Yeah.
I opened a new
actual-
beer and brought it to my face, and I brought it to my face too quickly, and now I have beer.
God damn it.
Hog.
I spilled the beer all over myself. Okay, that game was sick though.
Just like the bad games, that beer doesn't exist.
Never happened.
So yeah, there was a little bit of a stretch of frustrating hockey. The Avs lost 3 in a row, and then kind of returned the form in these last 2 games, which is nice.
Very.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say it's a really
I
good.
feel like a large part of these last 2 wins has been the COVID protocol boys getting back.
Yes.
The zooming resuming.
Bruh.
Okay.
That wasn't meant to be anything. I'm
Rock
sorry.
God?
The Discord tech is to have me be tired every time.
I thought they would be very slow and have a couple bad games. I was wrong.
Yep, Makar is amazing. The
He
Moose
wasn't a
is
COVID
amazing.
boy loser.
That's fine, but he came back. That's good.
The return
came
of the
back.
king.
He came back from the previous game.
Yeah, I know.
He didn't look super good that previous game, so I guess
If
you
you
could call
He
it.
suddenly
was
played good,
-8 in
it's
his
Return of the
previous 4
King.
games, and then he was like, okay, well, enough of this.
He was like, "Fuck this! I'm not gonna look like Jack. Quinn Hughes."
All right, look, I'm just pogged that Makar is playing good. Okay.
Yeah. When Makar is on, it's like the team goes to a whole different level. And luckily we were able to witness like Kale Makar and Nathan McKinnon just at like peak performance mode. Like
It could be said that Cale Makar is the best defenseman in the league by people with brains. Adam who? Who Fox? No, fuck that. It's Cale Makar. He better win the goddamn Norris after all this shit.
Oh yeah.
I don't give a fuck if he missed a bunch of games. Adam Fox can lick these nuts. It's Makar time.
Yeah, dude deserves the Norris. He's been unreal. Isn't he the only point per game defenseman?
I was about to say,
Right
is he
now?
still on
He's the only
per game?
point per game defenseman the Avalanche have ever had.
Yeah, but you know, there's a team called the Tampa Bay Lightning and they cheat to get good players, and I'm wondering how they're doing.
Edmund's actually been
Um,
dog shit. It's been funny. You
yeah,
should go
he's
check out
fallen
like
off.
Jay Fresh and like Dom at the Athletic and all that stuff.
Yeah.
They've actually been like, wait, Hedman's been bad and has had like a really rough season. Not like, you know, objectively bad. You know, he's not playing like Ryan Graves or anything, but
Haha, fuck
you know.
Graves. Haha.
he has not had a Norris season is the point.
So Kale Makar is sitting at 1.03 points per game right now. And then the only other two players that are at a point per game are nobodies who've only played one game and gotten a single point. Beyond
Yeah,
that,
it's like point per game, more than 20 games played
more
is
than 20
normally the
games played is usually the distinction. But so the second place defenseman in that mix is Adam Fox sitting at 0.92. Very respectable, but that's not point per game. It's just close to it.
sounds like a lot less than Makar has.
A whole 10% less.
I was about to say
10%'s a big
0.1
percent.
less.
No,
I mean,
it is.
he's not wrong.
Definitely is.
You do be spitting straight facts, though.
So yeah. Makar. Norris. Name a better pair.
Patrick Kane and hurting people. Not Patrick Kane, Evander Kane, sorry.
Damn, wrong Kane.
Wrong Kane. You had your Kane and Taves.
Yeah, Patrick
steal last
Kane.
night.
Patrick Kane only hurts cab drivers. Evander Kane is the one who hurts hockey
Yeah,
players.
over 20 cents. Gotta love it. I mean, so yeah. Kale Makar was on, Nathan McKinnon was on. He wasn't able to get a shot on goal that entire game, but man, was McKinnon flying.
It kind of pissed me off. I had money on McKinnon shots on goal, which was over 3.5. And I had money on Kadri scoring a goal. And neither of those happened. But it was frustrating because McKinnon actually just looked amazing.
Yeah.
He was dangling through defensemen constantly. Like, he just looked good. He looked like McKinnon. He just didn't get a shot on goal. He got... You'd have to look at the stats to see the shot attempts, honestly, but fuck, bro.
Yeah.
He looked like really good. People were kind of shitting on him, and I was like, "Did you watch the game?" The answer is no, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. And then Kadri's been.
He looked better tonight.
He looked far better tonight. As
Not that that's a
as
high bar
as
to
much
clear.
as some Discord people would love to shit on him. He looked a lot better. But man, my dude needs to score. 19 games is going to be the next. 19 games without a goal is the stat right now.
They
Jesus.
moved him down to the third line.
Yeah. Meanwhile, New Hook is 2 points per game in the AHL. Like,
The Avs are going to be really sick when it comes to forwards. It's going to be so unreal. So the last game happened tonight. The Avalanche beat the Sharks 4-3. And this was just
5-3, smile.
this was just a complete housing, right? Like the score is like 1 goal away, so it looks close, but there was never a chance in hell that the Avalanche were going to let this one
Wait,
go.
no, it is 5-3. What do you?
Oh, that's right.
No, never mind.
No, because there was the one they called off because the dude shook his helmet off.
Yeah.
And then there was the one that they shouldn't have gotten because the dude pulled the stick with his legs and twisted Dubnik. So the
Yeah,
actual
well,
score was 5-2. Smile.
Yep.
Yeah.
I actually think that was totally goalie interference. Dubnik definitely tried to sell it. He did a
Oh,
little.
yeah.
He did a little pirouette, and I think that's why they called it a good goal.
Yeah, I was about to say, they sat there and looked at Dubnik and said, no, we're not calling this for you. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the dude skated through the crease, the top of the crease, but through the crease, and ended up catching
he pulled him.
Dubnik's stick between his legs and just kind of pulled him.
Yeah.
He also dragged his foot through his pads and pulled his pads that way too. So he had multiple things pulling him to the left.
Yeah. Personally, when I was watching it, I could have seen it go either way because I did see like Dubnik kind of sell it, but like, come on, man.
You know, I was actually just saying that the Dylan and Devin never saw like a true goal interference like controversy. And I don't know if I would say this qualifies, but it's definitely like kind of funny that it happened right after I said that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it was goal interference. I think Dubnik sold it and kind of screwed himself, if I'm going to be honest. But I do think
Yeah,
it was
I
goal
think that
interference.
makes a lot of sense. I think that's a reasonable take.
I'm not like sitting here screaming about it, super mad. Even if we lost and that was the impetus, I don't know if I would be. I think it was close enough for me to be like, whatever, bro. But
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely close either way.
there are some goalie interference calls that I'm like actually just so mad screaming at the screen, but that wasn't one of them.
Yeah, it's definitely tame compared to some of the stuff we've seen. So yeah, this one was interesting because like I said, 4-3 is a close scoreline. Didn't look that close on the ice. And the Avalanche kind of got goalied.
they were playing out of their minds tonight, boys.
This is one of their best games all season, bar none.
Yeah.
I almost said bar down because I'm drunk, which would have been really funny, but bar none. Bar down, just like Patrick Nemeth goals, bro.
Yes,
Nemo.
Jesus.
that was a good goal. Very hype.
I did not have Patrick Nemeth almost getting the game-winning goal on my bingo card. You'll have to forgive me for that one.
But it
Yeah,
looked
It was
so
a
good.
It was a weird game. The score makes you think the Sharks were close. I don't know if I ever felt like that.
No, never.
I feel like Dubnik was maybe the difference maker for the Sharks
Also,
there.
like, it's weird, right? Because you have like that first one that he should have had, and that sucks. And your backup goalie's gonna let one or two of those go by, right? And then the other two are like potentially controversial fucking goaltender interference and a weird bounce he had no chance on. So like realistically,
That notably went off Devon Taves.
yeah,
That
accidental master
went
of
off
the
Devon
own goal.
Taves and then went off of
I don't know how he
straight
does
to
it.
the net.
I think the reality is that he's so good at blocking shots and getting in front of offense
Oh yeah.
that it just naturally goes in sometimes because of weird bounces
Well, so
and that he's been
yeah.
unlucky. But he's literally been our best defensive defenseman and is also like our own goal leader by like
a mile.
the entirety of the Avs ever.
Well, so like I think he just puts himself in that shooting lane, right? Like he knows where the shooter is going to be, and then just because
No,
he's
that's
there
what I'm saying.
so often, yeah, like statistically,
Like he's so
speaking,
good at being in the way that sometimes that being in the way just
It
makes
just
a
has to
weird fucking
happen.
bounce go
Yeah.
past
Yeah.
the goalie. But you have people that are mad at him for that, and I think like as much
No.
as it sucks, he blocks so much shit and kills so much offense from the
Rather
other
have
team.
the
It's
body
fucking hilarious.
there
Yeah.
than not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's an extra.
there is
post.
something to be said for letting the goalie make a save, but you know what are you gonna do?
What you can do when you have Dubnik behind you, you're gonna block the goddamn shot if you can.
yeah,
But the only time I was like, genuinely kind of upset by a own goal for him was the one where he like just slapped it in past Dubnik.
Yeah, he took an actual shot and just shot a 5-hole. Like, oh,
yeah,
dude.
it's like, oh,
Like
shit.
that's the only time where I was like, Taves, what?
He was
what are you
trying to hit
doing?
it behind the net and got it into the
Oh,
net
yeah.
instead. Like, ugh.
I just wouldn't even take that chance. Just try to bank it off the corner and hope it goes flying out.
Yeah, so anybody who has their pitchforks at the ready for Devon Taves, reconsider your life. But like, so aside from that, man, the vibes are fucking immaculate tonight.
Yeah, tonight it was really good.
Yeah.
I
It's
liked
funny.
the-
After the last 2 games, the 3-game losing streak, nobody's talking about it.
Dude, everybody was
Until that one.
imploding after that Blues loss, and especially
There's a
after the
certain-
Vegas lost.
There's a certain Ryan that hasn't shown up in the certain chat in either
I was
of the
about to
wins
say.
after being in every loss. And I'm just like, weird how that works.
Yeah,
yeah.
it seems like you're only here for the losses. I wonder.
Yeah,
why.
I swear there are people that are only there for the losses. You gotta be here for the vibes, dude. People were like, I turned off DNVR tonight because they were too drunk. And I was like, it was fun, though.
Bro, just can't
Well,
hang
and there
out,
were people,
huh?
dude, just have fun, bro. And when there were people that were like, I feel bad for Allie, but Allie was just playing it up for fun, dude. She was playing up the like sick of it over it mom vibe just for a good time. Like, it's okay.
Oh yeah, no.
Don't
She
take
was on
podcasting so
playing with them.
seriously.
Evidently, we don't.
I talked about cum pancakes last week. Like, what, are you gonna be mad at me?
Yeah, we were talking about cum
Well-
romance earlier today.
I was about to say someone might be.
Listen, in order for people to get mad at you, there'd have to be somebody listening, eh?
Hey, you know, one day. We're sitting here, we're
someday.
vibing, we're having a good time. Like, it'll happen.
No, it'll be sick. Like 2 years from now, people will go back to this episode and they'll be like, "Oh, we should cancel these losers. What the fuck is up with them?"
I don't know if we said
People are
anything
gonna
worth
cancel
canceling.
us about cum pancakes. Hold up. I'm offended because I can't cum.
Cum pancakes are a universal
My
good.
grandfather was a cum pancake. Excuse you.
There were people that were like, "We're gonna get fucking housed by the Sharks." Before that first game, like, this team just doesn't have what it takes to compete. They can't come back from when they're behind. Good teams find a way. Blah blah blah. And it's
There was
like,
some dude in Dater's mentions, which, to be fair, if you're not blocked by Dater, you're doing something wrong. Who was like, we're setting up to get fucking swept by Mini in round 1. And I was like, shut up, bitch.
like it's stupid because the moment that anything negative happens or anything that is like not winning every game 8-0, people are just really quick to overreact and be like, dude, we gotta fucking pull it
Oh.
up. Nathan McKinnon is scuffed. What a fucking bust.
It's casual Denver sports fans, right?
Yeah.
Like, you get the best of it and you get the worst of it. You know, you get to vibe when Nikola Jokic gets 20 points in one period, right? But you also get when he gets 1 point in one period and everybody bitches about it. Like, you know, the reality of hockey is that it's not as easily quantifiable as a football or a basketball is, right?
Yeah.
It just isn't. And there's a lot of randomness. There's a lot of like
Yeah.
non-conventional successes and failures that you don't see in other sports. And, you know, unless you're an avid hockey follower, you can't pick up on that. So you get a lot of people being really shitty about hockey when the reality is sometimes you're going to lose 5-2 to fucking Vegas, even though you butt fuck them the whole game.
Look,
You know?
we're not watching robots play. That wouldn't be nearly as fun.
Sometimes you're going to
Not a
go
lot.
3-4 against the Sharks, even though you literally dominated every second of the entire game. It's just the reality.
Yeah.
That's hockey, baby.
I think that that's a really good point because as somebody who watches a
And
lot
I'm
of sports,
so drunk making that point.
as somebody who watches a lot of sports, the teams that are dominant, like the cream of the crop, the best teams in the NHL, do not consistently get the same results that same sort of domination that you see in a football or a baseball or a basketball, right? Where
You just
those
don't
top
have your Golden
teams-
State Warriors, right? Like,
Yeah.
it just doesn't have the best team is the Avs and the like Lightning, I guess.
Hurricanes
They're
are actually the
not-
top of the league right now.
Yeah, the Hurricanes, but they're not. They're winning 60% of their games. They're not winning 80 or 90, right?
Yeah.
You know, when you watch the Nuggets and you see them go against the Golden State Warriors, it's a battle and it's a predictable one. And usually the Golden State Warriors wins, and that's predictable. It's just the way it is. Especially with Jamal Murray and all these people out, right? But when you watch the, when you watch the Nuggets go up against like the Rockets, it's like, all right, well, and Michael Porter Jr. is gonna have like 9 3-pointers, and Nikola Jokic is gonna have 50 points, and you can make those predictions, and even more so with football. But in hockey, nah, dude, it's not there.
The
And-
game is on ice.
Yeah. But when you're watching Nathan McKinnon or Connor McDavid be sick, you're watching them get 1 point a night, maybe, right?
Unless you're playing the Ottawa Senators, in which case you'll get 21 points in 8 games.
Yeah. But McKinnon had a 15-game point streak, and it's not like he was having 3 goals a game. It's he'd have an assist or something.
Yeah.
He still looked sick. He still looked good. But your casual sports fan's gonna be like, he didn't score like a hat trick. When's the last time McKinnon had a hat trick? It's that kind of shit,
And it can be frustrating because as a person, one of the 3 on this podcast that watched that horrible
Are you
cursed
sure you're a
season-
person?
I have my doubts, but for the time being, let's proceed under the assumption that I am. We watched
No.
that cursed Avalanche season, that 48-point season, fucking less than a quarter of the games won. And
I
The
watched every
difference-
game that season, all the way through.
I watched every game but like the last 5 or 6 because at some point I was like, why would I even do this to myself anymore?
I watched us get 10-0'd by the Canadian.
Oh, yeah.
Or was it 10-1? It might have been 10-1. But I
think it was
watched us
10-1.
get scored on 10 times. These boys haven't seen that. The Avs haven't even done it. The closest they've gotten is 8, and that was rare.
Yeah.
And only through special teams. But these boys haven't seen a game where somebody's just been so thoroughly butt-fucked. And I sat through every Avs game that season. And I'm not going to use that as a badge of honor to hold other people. I'm going to use it as a badge of honor to say, fuck, I love this team and I really want to see them win. But, you don't see that. That's
Yeah.
not happening this year.
Well, so my point is, like, the difference is night and day, right? I have seen Avalanche.
Oh, yeah. What was that
teams-
second line you posted?
What?
What was that lineup you posted the other day? It was the 16-17
Oh,
season.
yeah. It was it was 17-18 or something like that because
Yeah, it was 17-18 because
Um,
Andrew Ghetto.
because Calvert was
and
on there. So it was
Calvert, yeah.
the first line, Nathan McKinnon, Alex Kerfoot on the left wing, Sven Andrighetto on the right wing, Tyson Jost at 2C, which at the time shouldn't have happened. He's 2C now, but he's earned that spot, right? On a good team. Left wing, Gabriel Landeskog. Right wing, Matt Calvert. Matt Calvert was a 4th line guy on the team, right? But he's playing 2nd line minutes there, and honestly, I can't blame them for doing that compared to the other guys that we have on this list. 3rd line, centered by Carl Soderberg, Rantanen and Nieto on the wings. Like, this was before they discovered what a gem Mikko Rantanen was. This was the season that he came into his own, where he earned that top spot from Sven Andrighetto, and I think they moved Calvert down to the 3rd line. Fourth
Dude,
line. 4th line is Agazino, AJ Greer, and Conklin.
Agazino, dude. Okay, so I was saying tonight, our second line is Jost, Nuke, Burakovsky. Imagine if you went back in time 3 years and told an Avs fan that was our second line, they would stop watching hockey.
Yeah.
They would say it wasn't
Yeah,
worth
that-
it to follow the team. Because Burakovsky was on the Capitals and was a 3rd/4th liner, not producing for shit. Nuke was in the middle of never scoring, and I think he was in Russia at that time because he was so bad he couldn't even crack a Stars roster.
Yep.
Yep.
And Jost was we all know Jost. I don't know if the boys know Jost from a couple of years ago, but he was basically useless.
He was rough.
Yeah, he was a ghost.
We
And
said
so
that
if you go back,
sorry, we said that he was potentially going to be moved from this team at the beginning of the year for a reason, and he's really blown our minds this year.
yeah, and if you go back and you say this is our second line this year, everybody's like, "What? I'm done with hockey. The rebuild has failed. These players are trash," and they found their way.
Yeah.
Now I think
Yeah.
if you say Brandon Saad, Nazem Kadri, and Andrei Burakovsky, you feel a little bit better about it. But Saad's injured, Kadri's doing whatever. Burr is still there, right? But fuck, dude. Like, the Avs have come a really long way with players who they took gambles on and didn't, necessarily know if they'd work out or not. Nuke is insane. Nuke
is
doesn't
unreal.
score. He doesn't score, and that's okay. But Nuke, even tonight, he had like 3 opportunities where we were shorthanded and he got the puck from the people just by forechecking. How do you do that against NHL players? He plays like I play Chell, where I'm just like constantly like on the forecheck, constantly just like, trying to poke check and steal the puck. And it usually works because like whatever, AI is easy to manipulate. He's manipulating the AI of real motherfuckers. It's not AI, it's real AI. And he's doing it, man. It's sick. And Jost is doing it too. Neither of them score. I guess that's like why they're playing with Burakovsky, because Burakovsky scores. He scored tonight. He scores with the ladies because he's beautiful. But fuck, dude.
Yeah,
I'm just excited about this team.
dude. And so like watching this team evolve, right? And some of the comments that really got to me, like genuinely made me angry, and definitely like made me know that the person who was making this comment knows absolutely not one fucking thing about what they are talking about, are the comments about how this team has no heart.
Dude, the times we've come back from 2-0, like 2-0 first periods and shit like that, and the times we've like fought, and we've been gritty as fuck this season too, which people were always bitching about. Like, this team has it, man. It just feels right.
Well,
They might
see,
get knocked out first round by St. Louis, but even so, like, it just feels good, man. The team feels like the team that you'd expect to win a cup or something.
yeah. The issue that I see people now throw around is it's McKinnon and Rantanen who are being the mega gritty people, and they're like, no, that can't be the gritty people. They're the stars. They can't do that. Then what? They're gonna be sitting in the box all the time. It's like, fuck off. The guy wants to stand up for himself. Let him stand up for himself.
Well, first of all, I recommend that you stop listening to the Anaheim announcers.
No.
No, I know. I'm just giving you shit.
It was. I even hear that from other podcasts and stuff, and I'm just like, what are you guys talking about?
Well, people are definitely saying, like, don't break your hands, McKinnon, which I kind of agree with, but sometimes the best player in your team's got to throw down with a bitch who does some dumb shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, so
sometimes the best player in your team's got to fuck a dude up. Like, that's okay.
So the reason that I bring this up, it's Avalanche history time, boys.
Oh shit.
Like I
damn,
would
history
forgive you
point?
if maybe you said that the reason that the team doesn't have a heart is because they keep fucking Nathan McKinnon out of the Hart Trophy. But
Damn.
Ow.
Damn.
but I will not accept this fucking slander when it comes to the character of this team. The reason that we are here is because the leadership of this team took the worst team in the history of the league and made them a playoff team the next year. They banded
Duchesne
together.
didn't have heart.
They got rid of the people that were in the room that didn't want to be there. They got
Matt
rid
Duchene.
of the naysayers, Matt Duchene. And they said, we are the Colorado Avalanche. We are better than this. We know we are better than this. And anytime performance starts to dip, they wake themselves the fuck up. They hold each
they
other
get it done.
accountable and themselves, and they get shit done.
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
I wish the boys had the history, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
I think they've gotten a lot of it through us, but I wish the boys had the history of that season. I wish the boys had the history of everybody shit talking Landeskog, saying he was the youngest coach ever until McDavid took that title. But I wish the boys had all that history, you know? I wish they had the roller coaster of the up and down, because coming into a season where you're the best team in the league is a lot different from seeing the progression, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I think that, you know, there's a lot of good hockey to be watched, right? And that's enjoyable. But part of me wishes they suffered with us.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I just feel it's a sports team, right? Like, it's really easy to look at it and be like, you don't have any say on it. It's stupid to be attached. But, like, there's something about it, man. There's something about following it, seeing it at its worst, and now seeing it at its best, and just being like, fucking let's go.
Yeah.
And seeing even where it could go with, like, New Hook and the AHL and stuff. Like, I feel like there's a real connection there. And, you know, obviously I'm not going to, like, you know, get super depressed and, like, upset if they lose and get knocked out of the playoffs. But
Oh, I'm gonna feel awful for a couple days, but it'll be fine.
I'm not going to feel terrible. But there are people out there who are, like, trying to be negative to prepare themselves for that.
Yeah.
Like the fucking idiot that's like, they're going to get swept by Mini in the first round. Like, that guy's just trying to make himself feel better preemptively, right?
Yeah.
He's trying to drop an I called it on you.
Yeah.
But the reality is like, man, it's sports. Fuck off.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, one of the reasons that I am so invested in hockey and so into this team has been that, like, steady growth, right? Has been that, like, connection with my family, right? With my parents and my grandpa.
Fuck your parents. Your connection with me.
And my fucking friends, right? But
I'm
like,
your family, bitch. Eat shit.
I remember suffering through that season. I remember we traded away Matt Duchene, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like,
I
this is
remember
gonna
coming
get
to your house to
worse.
watch games and just staring at my phone the whole time. Just being like, this sucks, bro.
Yeah, I remember game 82 in the 17-18 season. Like, the Avalanche made the fucking playoffs. Nobody expected them to because they were the worst team in the league the year before.
I don't know if I can fully communicate the feelings from that game. Do the boys know?
I posted a link last night, but I don't know if anybody.
But do they
ended
know?
up
Do they know
watching
the
it.
true situation?
So the situation going in was it's the last game of the season, game 82. There's one spot left open for the playoffs in our division, and there's only two teams that can get it: the Colorado Avalanche and the St. Louis Blues. If the St. Louis Blues get 1 point, they are in, so it can't go to overtime if the Avalanche want to make it. The Avalanche need to win that night. If they win, they are in. And they fucking decimated the Blues.
Destroyed them, dude.
It was
And then
an
at the end of the
absolute
game, like, everybody's dogpiling on each other, like jumping into the air, landing on somebody who's on the ice, like full on ass dogpiling. And some of those players like Mark Barberio aren't even on the team anymore. But that, like, emotions in that moment were just like, oh, after a previous season of dog shit, nothing's gonna happen, we're fucked, it sucks. And then we fight to the very, very end, down to the fucking wire, dude. And we get it. And yes, we get butt fucked by Nashville in the first round.
But
irrelevant.
But even then, right?
That game one
The
was
gratification of getting somewhere after getting nowhere, and the outlook being that we might not get anywhere for 4 or 5 years, to 4 or 5 years later, we're a cup contender.
But so here's the thing.
It's good shit, man.
We get the last spot in the playoffs, so we get to play the best team in the league the first round. The Nashville Predators, right? And they were competitive that entire series, with the exception of that last game. That very
we played
last
some
game,
good games. Yeah, we played some good ass games.
They were within 1 or 2 goals, and they were fighting every single game.
And PK Subban was holding McKinnon's head against the ice and punching him in the head behind the play, and like,
yeah, he still gets booed when he comes to Denver because of that. It's ridiculous, but also very fun.
It's great.
But so we lose the first 2 games, very close. We absolutely decimate them game 3. Like, that was crazy. We lose game 4, and then game 5, facing elimination, the Avalanche just pull a win out of their asses with a third string goalie that shouldn't be there, and fucking Sven
Hamburglar.
Ghetto getting a
The
game-winning goal.
Hamburglar with people throwing hamburgers on the ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
What the hell?
The Hamburglar was the greatest story of that night.
His name
'cause
was
it just,
Andrew
like,
Hammond, and people literally
Oh.
just threw hamburgers on the ice. Show is so good, dude.
He had the game of his fucking life that night.
It was like wasn't it like a 50 somewhat? I feel like it was a high number amount of saves he made that night.
Oh god.
I just wanted to say, like, forever. And all my boys here are gamers, so they know. But it was always really easy for me to look at sports and be like, that's dumb as fuck. Like, you know, you have no agency over this. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's just people playing sports, whatever. It's dumb. And I can only speak for myself, but I know some people here identify with this. But I grew up and was always like, fuck sports, right? I hate all sports. It's dumb. And at some point it clicked for me, and following a team and seeing that shit and being there to cheer for it, even if you have no agency, it's kind of freeing to just be like, let's go. I'm going to fucking cheer for this shit. It's going to be tight. Like, I'm going to be here for the ups and the downs and like shit like Game 82 and that Nashville series and shit like that. Like, man, makes you feel good.
Yeah. So Sven Andrighetto got that game winner, right? In that game 5.
Andrighetto.
And it happened, and we saw it happen, and me, Indy, and our dad just jumped up and started hugging each other and jumping up and down in our living room. Like,
well, I want to go to the bar for that shit too, and hug a stranger at like the MVR bar and shit. Like,
oh my god. Like,
yeah, I don't know if the boys have really gotten the full taste of that. Maybe once the playoffs are come and gone, but there's some real shit you got from this, man. It feels good.
Yeah.
Sports are tight. I like get it after so many years of watching my dad like watch the Broncos and stuff, being like, this is fucking stupid. I feel like I finally like get sports and get being a sports fan. And I like basketball okay. I like football okay. Baseball sucks. Nothing's ever gonna hit me like hockey does, but like fuck, bro, it feels real good.
Yeah.
Cheering for other people and having no agency in it, like it's kind of tight.
Yeah. But so like we saw them be the worst team in the league. We saw them get the 8th seed and get crushed by the 1st seed, right? And then the year after that, they get the 8th seed again. They barely make it into the playoffs because they shit the bed, right? So we get the best team in the West, and we ruin their entire franchise.
2 years later, we're still fucked.
Calgary has not recovered from that series.
They were literally the best team in the league, almost.
Yeah, they were like
Yeah,
they were
second.
they were the second
They were
best
second
team in
in
the
the league.
entire league.
They were thought of as like world beaters, going to be good for 5 years, like amazing. And we fisted them with both hands.
Yeah. That literally for them to be the second best team that year was literally all their star players playing out of their minds, and
Yeah.
their goalie playing meh. The only
The
person
Avs
who
beat
showed
the
up during that,
fuck out of them, dude.
Yeah.
I was about to say, the only person who showed up during that series was their goalie. Everyone else was a stone.
Yeah.
They literally just turned over and died.
Yeah. So then we make our way to the second round of the playoffs when we lose in game 7.
To an offside.
Dude, it was the worst shit. I think we've shown the clip, right?
Yeah, we have. We've shown them the clip.
Where Landeskog is going for a line change, but the Sharks arena is fucking weird, so the line change is over the blue line. You guys saw that, right? Do you guys remember it?
Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we literally lost because of that.
Yeah.
And so the DMVR joke tonight was Dubnik's job is to make sure Landeskog's onside
Yeah.
in the playoffs.
So like no real expectations going into that year, but you saw what could happen, right? Because in the playoffs, anything can happen. And so last year, once again, we cruise through round 1 like it's nothing, and then round 2 we lose in a heartbreaking game 7. And there was some real expectation there, I would say.
2 Game 7 losses in the second round. It hurts.
Yeah, it hurts. It's awful. So to like the people that say that they don't have it, like they're using those round 2 exits as fuel for that. But
Well,
But that's hockey, baby.
But that's hockey.
Well, if you're gonna make that argument, well, so then people kept saying that the Capitals wouldn't get over this hump whatsoever, and OV would not have a single cup.
God, it took them like what
Until-
9 playoff
Yeah,
appearances to
Until
fucking...
they literally did it, they crushed their demons in the second round against the Penguins, and then just went flying off.
Yeah,
And
they
it
won
was
their
just
cup.
beating the crap out of whoever the hell was in their way after that. Let's go.
So yeah, like that was kind of a long derail trip down memory lane. But my point is, I've seen teams that didn't have it. I've seen Avalanche teams that didn't have it. None of those teams didn't have heart, right? Except for maybe that 16-17 Avalanche season. But we forget about that. And
Well,
Every team since has had heart with Nathan McKinnon.
and this Avalanche team fucking has it, boys.
It just feels right. It didn't feel right in the previous year. It just do.
Last year
You know
felt
what I
like
mean?
a crapshoot, but before that, I agree with you. It didn't seem like it was something that we should have been doing, right?
Yeah, even last year it didn't feel right. It feels right this time. Everything feels like it's going to happen. It might not. That's hockey. Only, 1 in 31 teams win. But,
Yeah.
fuck, man.
Dude, okay, so listen. It'll definitely feel right if Connor Timmins keeps doing what he's been doing. We forgot to talk about our boy.
Where do we put anybody in? Bo, McDonald? Like, fuck, bro.
Dude, like the lineup being Taves, Gerard, Graves, Makar, fucking Byram Timmins? Like Graves is the closest thing we have to
I was about to say
to a defenseman that would be like worried about like a Jacob McDonald.
He's the closest to expendable on the whole team, except for maybe like Pebbles.
On the main roster,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, Pebbles is at least the room guy who keeps everyone going.
But yeah, and Bednar was
I don't
deep
think
threatening
Graves-
Pebbles tonight in the interviews.
Eh.
He was like, Pebbles is great. He's a team first guy, never selfish. He's always about everybody else. I love him. And I can't
Yeah.
blame him. He sucked hockey kind of, but fuck, man.
Yeah, no, Pebbles is a cool guy, but I don't. Again, they're not saying the same things with Graves, so Graves can get cut.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, that fourth line was kind of flying at the beginning of tonight's game, like Pebbles included.
Was there anybody that wasn't just like dominating?
No.
Comfort, maybe?
Renew.
Maybe. Oh, I'd say well,
Renouf and Burrows looked totally fine. Both of them.
Yeah,
they looked
yeah.
totally fine.
they looked fine, but they didn't look
yeah.
dominant, I would say.
Yeah, I wouldn't call them dominant, but where normally I'd expect them to be like worrisome, they were perfectly serviceable defensemen. Like just totally fine.
And
The whole team tonight was just top to bottom. Naz looked fine. People were shitting on him a little bit because he didn't score, but he looked good, dude. Fuck.
They're gonna do that no matter what until he scores, and it's fine.
And that's 19 games. I can't blame him, but like, come on,
Yeah.
man.
And so I think that like that's one of the reasons that this year it feels right. Because last year when we would have like 3 or 4 defensemen injured, like who do we have left? This year, it doesn't fucking matter how many defensemen we have out of here. Like the next guy up is gonna be like perfectly okay. Maybe not amazing, not gonna knock your socks off, but it'll be fine.
If we have to call Militon, we might be fucked.
Yeah, it might be, but we have Salmaki now, right? Jesus. I mean, so yeah, it's I'm looking forward to seeing what this team has left in it when it comes playoff time and like exactly what they can do, because I think that they have the drive and they have the talent to get it done.
The playoffs, when it is revealed that they haven't even reached their final form.
Well, yeah, McKinnon's not scoring a goal and 2 assists every night.
He's hiding his power level, as they say. This Jake guy is hiding his comments.
I don't have comments. I'm drinking Burr.
Oh, okay.
IPAs suck, bro.
Oh, they do.
I bought
I hate
I bought
IPAs.
Breckenridge Juice Drip IPA, and I thought maybe it would taste like juice, but instead it just tastes like every other IPA I've ever had, and it sucked.
Yeah.
Sorry to
I
hear.
drank a strawberry sky in the middle of that though, and it was heavenly. It was the nectar of the gods gracing my lips.
Well, screw it. Just pour both of them into the same glass. See what happens.
Sounds to me like you're gonna ruin one of those drinks.
So yeah, that's the Avalanche. We've made our positions known. Avalanche are fucking sick. So moving on to some of the general news that happened since the last podcast. Today it was confirmed that they are going to play the Women's World Championships. They are moving them to August. They will be held somewhere in Canada, but they have not chosen a location yet.
August hockey. Man.
It's like August 30th or something like that, so like right before the preseason would start for the Avalanche.
Okay.
So it doesn't really help the hockey drought, just makes the hockey start a little bit
Hockey
sooner.
drought. I was about to say the drought just is a little shorter, just a tad bit.
Assuming everything goes right, of course, and they're able to have a regular, full ass season next year, but we'll see how that goes. I will say that I'm maybe not overly optimistic about that based on the current trends, but we'll see.
I mean, with vaccinations, I think things will be okay. I mean, you really want Canada to get vaccinated, but the US, I think I just saw that 50% of adults are vaccinated right now, so you're looking good.
Yeah. The goal is what, 70 something percent, right?
Yeah, it's 75% to really lock down. The problem is you have a bunch of other places that are being gung ho about it, especially in South America and stuff, where mutations are really possible and have proven to be detrimental.
Mm-hmm.
The hope is that you really get to a point where you can fight it off. Canada's struggling, but you'd hope by the end of the summer they figure it out, right?
Yeah.
In my defense, I don't know what we were talking about, but I came in with that one. So if that was out of the way, you could just cut it.
Oh no, you're good. You actually
No, well,
you segued in real nice.
Okay, cool. Poggers.
But I was just talking about how they moved the Women's World Championship back to August 30th.
Yeah, they haven't announced where it is, right?
Oh, okay.
They announced that it's at an undisclosed Canadian location.
Yep. They just
But it's
haven't
happening.
chosen the site yet.
Undisclosed.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
There may or may not be hockey happening here.
Yeah, hockey happening in
Hockey,
Canada
yeah,
somewhere.
I was about to
Smile
say.
with ladies.
Just walk into Canada, you might see a game.
so you know what they should do? They should just, say yellow, throw it into the Seattle Kraken's new arena. Just throw it in there.
Yeah. Now that they're officially an NHL hockey team, they paid off their last fee today. That was the other breaking news that happened this morning. They made their last payment. They can start grabbing players now, signing free agents and stuff, making trades. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Obviously,
I'm excited to see that team.
there was likely no worry that that wasn't going to happen because it's owned by a bunch of billionaires. So, yeah, go Kraken, I guess. We'll have to see how they end up doing in the expansion draft and all that stuff before we can really say how exciting they might be. But who knows?
What if they pull off the Vegas story, but they don't lose to the Capitals?
Yeah, they don't lose to Alex Ovechkin playing out of his mind and fucking Braden Holtby being insane. That'd be sick. I kind of want an expansion team to win the cup their first year. Not if it's at the expense of the Avalanche, of course, but
I was about to say, that was a rough year to sit there and just be like, I want Ovi to win his cup, but I also want Vegas to win a cup.
Yeah, I'm team Ovi deserves this, but I'm also team Chaos.
I'm team fuck Ovi. Russia suck. Why do you have to bring politics into it?
No, it was actually just Putin editing the video for us.
Video producer Vladimir Putin.
You producer Putin. Oh no.
Yo, that's big PP.
We gotta have 8-bit wide Putin now. It's the law.
We touched on it earlier, but Anaheim Ducks goalie Ryan Miller announced that he will be retiring at the end of the year.
Yeah, dude. Every Kings player, all of them, hugged him, fist bumped him, fisted him. It was heartwarming.
Hog?
Yeah.
Is that why they decided to lose that night?
Oh, they
Yeah.
got
his last dub?
6-1, dude.
they got shelved tonight. Ugh.
No, again, they were just like, we feel bad that this guy's retiring. Here, we'll just give him a dub.
Hail
I know you're
Hydra.
a closet Kings fan and your girlfriend likes the Kings, so this one might have been a little bad, but good for them, I guess. Good for the Ducks.
I think that the expectation is that there is not much in the way of playoff hopes for them, and I think that that's
yeah, but the
perfectly fine.
Ducks?
And that they've got a decent prospect pipeline going on. So
Oh, yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. It's just the Ducks.
Ducks are rough. That one stings. That's a huge rivalry.
I was trying to make sure that they didn't like release Trevor Zegras or something, and it's like, oh, he only had one goal. Never mind.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how bright the future is for like the Kings, but I'm not a fan, and I don't plan on being a fan because they just don't interest me that much. But
Sure.
you know, I don't know. I feel like of all the teams I do know about, they seem like they have a pretty bright future.
Yeah.
But 6-1 to the Ducks, owie.
Yeah, I will say that initially, like the beginning of their prospects stints with the Ontario Reign, their AHL team, with the exception of maybe Kaliev, they started out slow. Byfield and Turcotte specifically, were not meeting expectations.
Turcotte is still not good, right?
I thought Turcotte picked it up, but I know Byfield definitely picked it up. He got the call up recently.
Oh, did he? That's good for him.
Yeah, he did. I thought Turcotte was still pretty like mediocre at best, though.
Let me pull up his
I hope he is because I wanted us to take him. Smile.
He's currently
Steal
sitting
him.
at 15 points in 28 games, which,
Yeah, that's bad.
well, with a slow start.
Last 10 though.
Let me see what like his last 10, if I can.
I don't know, because I'm assuming you're doing it off of NHL.com, right?
Hold on. I was actually going off of Elite Prospects on that one.
Oh, yeah, never mind. Yeah,
They have a better
they have a better system for
like
looking at
stat
the,
keeping system for
prospects.
like AHL and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I have to say, looking at the offerings from some of the advanced stat guys on Twitter and the Patreons they have and stuff, they literally just take stats from NHL.com and input them into a like more visually appealing Trello based or some other like Lucid chart or something setup and then sell it on a Patreon. And I'm sitting here like, I could do that. It's literally just feeding stats into something that makes them look good. Like it's kind of super low effort.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could do that. I have the technical know-how and the time.
Do it.
Yeah, do it.
Don't.
Don't let your fucking dreams be
I'll help you.
memes.
Don't let your memes be dreams.
So yeah, it looks like he's been he had like a hot stretch kind of in the middle of the season. But even then it wasn't like super hot. So yeah, I guess Turcotte has been struggling a bit, which is sad to see.
His draw was that he'd be pretty ready. I feel like the explanation of Turcotte around draft time was he's not going to be super high ceiling, but he's going to be pretty ready right away, and I don't feel like that's been true. I feel like he's been kind of a letdown.
I'd be interested to see how much the COVID season had to
Yeah,
like play
maybe.
into that. Because
Feels
he
like a lot of the
definitely started
top
off slow.
Well, it kind of feels like a lot of the top build draft prospects have been kind of mediocre, right? Kako, Lafreniere, Jack Hughes finally figured it out, but I feel like a lot of the people who have been like for sure number 1s and 2s that the Avs have kind of dodged by getting fucked by the lottery have been actually kind of mediocre.
It's been that's been weird. Um, I think that it is reasonable to say that we should give them a couple years to see how they end up, right? Because
I mean, Lafreniere for sure. Kako's a little worrisome at this point, but
yeah, I still see give Kako a year or two. Um, I think that he could end up finding a groove.
Beck Hughes is figuring it out. Not
Yeah.
points wise, but he looks great.
Yeah, I think we just get spoiled with the like McDavids and McCars and shit of the world. Sometimes when it comes to like creating unrealistic expectations for prospects. Even like Heiskanen, Miro Heiskanen, who got picked right before Makar, he was fucking unreal for a few years.
Yeah, a lot of people were talking about. I mean, he's great. A lot of people were talking about him being the consensus number one. I think McCarr's really made his fucking case, but
yeah.
A lot of people were trying to say Heiskanen's better than McCarr, and I think I disagree, especially this year. But
I was
I
about to
disagree.
say Heiskanen this year has kind of fallen off a cliff a little bit.
Like
compared
you
to last
disagree
year.
with me or
Last year,
disagree with them?
No, sorry. I disagree with people saying that Heiskanen is better than Makar. Like make no mistake, I would not hate to have a Miro Heiskanen on the team, but I think
I'd be
that
totally
given
okay
the
with that.
choice-
Same with Pedersen.
Yeah.
Pedersen's been a shame, actually.
Yeah.
Just injuries, dude. I get nightmares about that clip of him getting his head thrown on the ice. You know what I'm talking
yeah,
about?
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Where he's like
yeah.
his breath is just coating his visor after he gets up and he's like stumbling to the bench. That shit still gives me like actual like uncomfy nightmares.
Yeah, that's oof.
People said he was a McDavid good though, and then injuries have derailed it and just taken him out like almost the entire season. It's really awful, dude.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
'cause he was-
at the beginning of the year he said that he had no confidence in himself and he was just kind of
He sucked all year and then he was out with injuries for the rest of it, dude. It's awful. It really sucks. He seems like a really cool guy too, listening to the Chiglets interview.
I could tell he was a cool guy when he murdered Matt Calvert and then was looking at the refs, going,
Yeah,
"This
exactly.
guy is injured out here.
guy's-
Stop the play." And then
He's like, I'm not trying to play hockey right now. Can we make
Yeah.
sure he's okay? And the
Like
refs were like, nope. And he's like, I guess. Fuck, man.
Like this guy's bleeding through his ears on the ice. Can we stop? Can we get a whistle? I mean, I know I'm trying to win a game here, but fuck.
Yeah, I know nobody here listens to Chicklets really, but the Chicklets interview with him was really good. He just seems like a good dude. I hate it, dude. I hate seeing great players injured. I hate seeing any players injured, but like, fuck. I feel like the NHL really has this culture of trying to injure really great players.
Well,
You know?
it has the culture of bad teams going like, "Well, we have nothing to play for. Well, who's their number one star? All right."
You even saw it
Let's
from the
get an
Sharks
accident.
tonight.
So it's just one of those things where it's like if you can't keep up, you fucking take out their legs, right?
Well, last game they injured 2 Avs players, man. And you can say the Evander Kane one was on accident, but that dude knows what he's doing. He's smart enough. He's a good enough player. He knows exactly what's
I was
happening.
about to say, you're
guys.
throwing elbows in the air. On
When people, well, you
purpose.
can't. What are you gonna do about the Gerard thing? Like, one, it should have been an icing. Fuck the linesman.
Yeah.
2, you shouldn't have your fucking stick in his skates. Like, what do you mean? What are you gonna do?
And also,
I
don't
hate it.
let up if you see him on his edges, because you
Yeah,
literally 2 feet away from the boards. That people will argue that was not a trip or
1,000,000%, I
something
agree.
because he was
Yeah.
on his edges. I don't care if he's on his edges. Then you don't hit the guy into the boards. That will break his ankles.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous because hockey players know that that's a dangerous play. And the reason that that sort of icing exists is to stop that sort of play from happening before it happens. So
Well, and they
I'm
called it
very
against the
frustrated
Avs a
with the referee on that
ton.
one.
That game and this game, they called it against the Avs a ton. Where 2 guys are jockeying for position and the Avs is in front, and they still call the no icing and let them right into the boards and let it play out. Where normally they'd call the icing. I've actually been perplexed because they never, ever, ever let that one go. They always call it icing, and we've been the benefactor of it 0 times this season against this team in the last 2 games. It's
Yeah.
been crazy.
Yeah, and it's just a good rule to have because it protects your players. Like the rule exists for a reason, and it's a good reason.
Like, it was added after the 16-17 season, right? where they can call icing if it's a two-person race.
I'm not sure about that one. But Dylan and Devin, opinions on icing. Tell me. What do you think about icing?
What do we think about icing?
Yeah. Tasty?
Yes, it's
Generally.
delicious. I think it's fine. I mean, all right.
Well, so one,
like,
you know what icing is, right?
Yeah.
And so two, you see why two players racing into the boards trying to get an icing to be called or not called is dangerous, right?
Yeah.
And so normally to avoid the danger, they call it, right?
Mhm.
They call it icing so the players don't hurt themselves. And Gerard was the result of them not doing that. It was a substandard play and he got hurt because of it. So that's why we're frustrated, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It sucks, dude. And
yeah, I
he's
feel
out
like-
for 2 weeks. He might just be a precautionary trying to fully recover for the playoffs, but you know, you never know. He could be hurt. He could be
Yeah.
actually hurt and like go out in the middle of the playoffs. Like who knows? But fuck. And he's had a Norris caliber season.
I was about to say he's what 15th in defenseman, or sorry, 19th in defenseman in points.
So it will be interesting to see what the Avalanche do because they have a real shot at taking the number one spot from the Golden Knights. Unfortunately, they won their game today. So the standings were pretty much evened up. They went on a real hot streak. We had a little bit of a slump and we're bouncing back from that. So it'll be curious to see what happens if the Avalanche are going to start trying to rest people in order to make sure that their team is healthy so that they have a good chance to succeed in the playoffs, or if they start making that push for the first place in the division for that home ice. And it'll be especially interesting because we have one game left against Vegas, and the rest of the season is against teams that have no realistic playoff chances.
Just gonna try and play the spoiler and injure players.
Like
Yeah.
that would be the only thing that they could do is just be a dick and injure people, and that happens, right? It's not like we haven't seen that before. But I would be curious to see in this weird COVID season that everybody just wants it to be over with, how engaged those players would end up being, you know?
I'm feeling good, boys.
All right. So let's wrap up some news. We only have 2 more items on the docket. First is the NHL signed another TV deal. The first one was with ESPN. Very exciting. There were some rumors floating around about who the second partner would end up being.
And it was not who it ended up being at all. There were no rumors about it.
TBS, Turner Broadcasting, they picked up the deal, which is kind of cool. I'm looking forward to seeing some hockey on TNT.
I mean, they have a huge basketball presence and they really, really help the NBA. So hopefully the NHL benefits as such.
Yeah.
I was about to say
Sounds
goodbye,
like a good
NBC.
thing to me.
What is because it's TBS and TNT. What does TNT stand for?
Turner News, something. Hold on. I looked up TNT, and got
It's Dynamite.
Dynamite.
TNT.
Turner Network Television.
Turner Network Television. Okay. So yeah, if Turner can work their magic with hockey the same way that they did basketball, I think that that's a really beneficial thing for the game. For some reason, HBO Max gets exclusive rights to the Winter Classic every year, which is
I was seeing that Turner had the Winter Classic.
it's going to be on HBO Max.
I don't know if I believe you.
Again, to be fair, I don't care where it goes. It's better than NBC.
Because the NHL Turner deal is 70 NHL games, including the Winter Classic, is what the wording said.
Are they thinking of like giving HBO the like Stadium Series games if there's more of them, or maybe even All-Star games, or some weird stuff?
Yeah, it says Turner will broadcast the annual Outdoor Winter Classic game in the deal.
The reporters that I saw tweeting out said that HBO Max was getting the Winter Classic, but maybe they were mistaken.
They were.
Yeah.
This is from one New York Times. I am so drunk. Oh my god.
He's beyond.
I'm struggling, boys.
He's beyond.
Oh, maybe we should wrap up
Dreaming.
soon.
Yeah,
then.
we
No,
only
let's
have-
keep going. Let's get down and dirty.
So yeah, I mean it's exciting. NBC's been very stagnant and annoying. We've talked about them
Yes.
negatively quite a
Yep.
bit. So seeing them move to some fresh broadcasting stations that seem like they really want to be a part of this thing, that sounds really good to me.
Eat.
Yee.
And finally, we mentioned that the Colorado Avalanche clinched a playoff spot, so we just wanted to go through the other teams that have clinched, give you a sense of what this playoff picture looks like, the teams that you can expect to see in the postseason. So far, the teams that have clinched are the Carolina Hurricanes, the Florida Panthers, and the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Fuck
in
the
Central.
planters.
The Panthers, huh?
Fuck you.
They're in the playoffs. They're definitely going to be there. They clinched. They last spot is a battle between the Nashville Predators and the Dallas Stars. It looks like Nashville might win that one, but the Stars get so many loser points by going to overtime every other game they play or whatever that they could edge them out. Which would be really funny because the Predators are a team that looked like they were going to sell at the trade deadline before they were in a playoff spot, and they decided to double down. So having that blow up in their face would be kind of funny. In the Honda West, Vegas, Colorado, and Minnesota have clinched. The two teams that are going to be battling for a position, that last spot, are going to be the St. Louis Blues and the Arizona Coyotes. Looks like it's going to be St. Louis because they've been so hot, but Arizona might make a miracle comeback.
I was about to say Arizona might just pull off an Avalanche game 82 moment.
Yeah. Yeah, they could. I don't think they will, but
Oh no, Kemper would have to stand on his head.
well, Kemper's injured. He's been.
Oh, is he injured again?
Oh, is he, did he
I thought
come
he came
back?
back.
Oh, okay. I didn't
Yeah,
realize
he came back
recently.
recently.
Oh well, damn. Maybe they will do it. Kemper's a really good goalie.
Worst host.
Going over to the Scotia North, the only team that has officially clinched are the Toronto Maple Leafs. I would be very surprised if the top four in that division doesn't stay where they're at. It's Toronto, Edmonton.
Vancouver come from behind. Let's go.
I was about to say
Vancouver
I
is
feel
the
like
only one that might reasonably have a shot.
I feel like the last few games I've watched of Montreal have been just such fucking shit shows. I can see Vancouver just if they go mega hot, they can kick Montreal out of that
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah. But so far it's Toronto, they clinched. Edmonton is going to clinch. Winnipeg should clinch.
Yeah.
Montreal is in a very good position to clinch, but I could see them losing it, like you said. But the only team that they would be able to lose it to would be Vancouver, and who knows? So yeah, I mean, if the standings there stay as they are, we would get Toronto, Montreal in the playoffs, and that would be really funny because those teams hate each other, and then Montreal would get absolutely cleaned.
Hey, people said that would happen to them last year against the Penguins, and look where they got. Toronto might blow themselves up. It's possible.
Potentially. That would be really funny though if they lost to the Canadiens in the first round.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, Toronto would never hear the
Dylan
end
and
of it.
Devin.
Yep.
Dylan and Devin. Opinions on the North Division.
No comments.
Canada, yeah.
Who's your favorite Canadian team?
The Canadians.
Whoa. Do you know where they're from?
Oh,
I
No,
didn't
I
say
don't
I didn't say
remember.
their city.
I was
I did say their city.
gonna say
Where are the
not-
Canadians from?
I don't remember.
Montreal.
I was making funnies.
But in your making funny, you named an actual NHL team, so
Oh yeah, I know.
What's your favorite team from New York?
From New York.
Yep.
I don't even remember the name.
They have 3 teams.
Oh, do they really?
I feel like New Jersey fans will get mad at you for having said that, but I'll allow it.
It's the same shit.
I don't know.
So the New York has the Devils, the Islanders, and the Rangers. And I guess you could say they also have the Buffalo Sabres.
Well, that's not a team.
Speaking of that division, the East, the teams that have clinched are Pittsburgh, Washington, and the New York Islanders. Looks like Boston is going to clinch that last spot. I would be very surprised with how well they have played. That
Those are really exceptional segue I had there.
Actually, it looks like Boston is 1 point from clinching, so that's all but settled there.
Taylor
Yeah.
Hall has looked sick. Everyone who talks shit about him and said the F shouldn't get him is fucking stupid.
Yeah, no.
I got called a clown for saying the F should get Taylor Hall, and he's almost a point per game, so meh.
Yeah, no. Like, people who were angry about Taylor Hall, again, just did not understand what happens when you take a good player and put him on a good team. Like, holy shit, what happens? He doesn't look like how he looked in Buffalo. He doesn't look like how he looked in Arizona. He'll be a good player.
Or even New Jersey. New Jersey was awful
Or
when he was on that team, too.
He won the heart on that goddamn team, so he can shut the fuck up.
Yeah, like, we haven't seen Taylor Hall on a good team until now. Fuck Boston, but they're a good team. So yeah, that's pretty much what the playoff picture is. It seems like pretty much everything is set in stone, with the exception of the battles in the Central and the West. So those are the names that you should be familiar with, that you should be on the lookout for. And that's it for news.
Damn.
And the pod.
Oh.
Damn.
This was a good one,
I'm
Bruce.
more drunk than I was if you want to keep going.
I mean, at this point, we'd be totally just riffing.
Yeah, the other problem is the other two are so tired and dead that,
I just bought
It
a
would
bass. I'm
literally
all
just-
about riffing.
yeah. It would literally just be us three just constantly bouncing off of each other and those two just sitting there going like,
Oh,
what
I'm
the
not
hell?
Yo,
tired.
dude.
I'd
Listen, bro. It's only
Oh, sorry.
12:35.
Yeah, it's only 2 in the morning. Sorry, 2:35 over there.
Nope, fuck them. Mountain time is the only time.
Eastern time zone erasure. So yeah, I mean, that's it for the podcast. If you've hung out with us this far, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. If you want to follow the show, you can do so on Twitter at GritHockeyCast. If you want to follow me personally, I'm at Kumodere. That is Kumodere. If you want to follow the sober and or drunken ramblings of my co-host Jake, where can they find you?
I'm the leaders.
That's right. Anime as leaders. This is the third time I've had to do this joke.
It's a great bit.
We need
Never let it die.
A tally of how many times
What's
I clean up animes.
The tally of how many times he has someone else call out his Twitter handle,
Including the text to speech.
including text.
The other three do not have social media because they gave it up for Lent 5 years ago and just never came back.
Smile.
So
That's
yeah.
right. Anime as leaders. That's where you can find me.
So yeah, we will be back next week. 2 weeks until the playoffs start. We're looking forward to it. Have a good day or night. I don't know when you're listening to this. Figure it out.
Have a good time zone.
Have a good time.
As
zone.
long as it's mountain time zone.
No.
Later.
See ya.
Adios.